Hello students, today we are going to start Judiciary chapter number 5 of Civics. In the previous video, we discussed about laws in the chapter Understanding Laws. Laws are made by legislature as we discussed in that chapter, legislature. These laws are implemented by executive and laws are protected by judiciary. So in this way there are three organs of government. How many organs? Three organs of government. So these organs are government, consist of three organs. These organs are number 1 legislature, number 2 executive, and number 3 judiciary. So let's discuss about judiciary. The main function of judiciary, I think you have understood. Protection of the laws and interpretation of constitution. In India, this is the supreme authority in judicial arena. It means Supreme Court. In India, Supreme Court is the highest authority in judiciary to take all the verdicts and decisions. So what is the role of the judiciary? As we have understood that judiciary protects the laws. This is the main function of judiciary. Protects the laws, solves the disputes, and interpret the constitution. So the main functions or the role of the judiciary is like this: dispute resolution. The first function, if the dispute is between state and state and center and two or more states, or citizens, between citizens and government, between two state governments, and between the center and the state governments. So these are the jurisdiction of the judiciary. It means of courts. So dispute resolution, any dispute is there, any conflict is there, judiciary can solve that. Second function is judicial review. After giving the verdicts, it can change its decision after reviewing the judicial review or the judicial decisions. As the final interpreter of the constitution, the judiciary also has the power to strike down particular laws passed by the parliament. This is judicial review. It believes that these are a violation of the basic structure of constitution. If any laws passed by the legislature, judiciary has the power to change that law, means to ask the government to take back that law or to change. Judiciary can direct the government and it asks to the government to change the law and take back. This is called judicial review. It means reviewing on any law or on decision, on its own decision. So this is judicial review. Next one is upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. The judiciary has also this right, upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. So you have to try to understand, every citizen of India can approach the Supreme Court or the High Court if they believe that their fundamental rights have been violated. Dear students, fundamental rights are given in part 4. Clear? So if any part 3, fundamental rights are in part 3. Part 4 consists of directive principles of state policy. So if any right of the citizen is violated, given in fundamental rights or given in part 3, the citizen has direct access to Supreme Court or the High Court. To Supreme Court according to Article 32 and to the High Court according to Article 226, to High Court and 32 Supreme Court. Clear? So this is about the direct access to the Supreme Court or the High Court by citizens, those who feel that their fundamental rights have been violated by anybody. Clear? In the previous class, we have studied about the story of Hakim Sheikh, an agricultural laborer who fell from a train and injured himself, whose condition got worse because several hospitals refused to admit him. On hearing his case, the Supreme Court ruled that Article 21 consists of the fundamental right to life. Also, it is the right to health included in right to life. So therefore, directed the West Bengal government, Supreme Court directed the West Bengal government to pay him compensation for the loss suffered, as well as to come up with a blueprint for primary health care with particular reference to treatment of patients during an emergency. This is Paschim Benga Khet Mazdoor Samit versus State of West Bengal 1996. This verdict was there. So dear students, in this way we have discussed about the functions of the Supreme Court or the judiciary. Let's see this pictures of Supreme Court. Picture of Supreme Court again. Supreme Court was established on 26 January 1950 when our constitution was implemented and India became a republic. Clear? It was earlier it was called Federal Court according to the Government India Act 1935. According to this, it became Federal Court, and from 1937 it was started till 1949 it was Federal Court of India. Earlier located in Chamber of Princes in Parliament House, it moved to its present building. Now it's located on Mathura Road in New Delhi, and it was shifted in 1958. You have to remember, dear students. Next one is this, you can fill easily. For example, dispute between center and the state, sometimes between the central government and state government like West Bengal, Maharashtra, sometimes disputes are there, and a dispute between two states like Punjab, Haryana on SYL, and between Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala on the rivers. Clear? So dispute between two citizens, many cases are there between two citizens in Supreme Court, and laws that are in violation of the constitution. So many laws can be there. You can think and write the example. If you will have problem, if you will not find any kind of example, then you can ask me, I will tell you. What is an independent judiciary? Independent judiciary means if there is no control of executive, no control of legislature over judiciary, that is called free and independent judiciary. It means on the verdicts of the court, if there is no external impact, clear, on the judges, on the mind of judges, so that is called independent judiciary. Sometimes you can see, dear students, that powerful people and very rich people can have impact over the judiciary or the decisions of the judges. So it can be called that the judiciary is not independent. Clear? Although we often hear of rich and powerful people in India are trying to influence the judicial process, the Indian constitution protects against this kind of situation by providing for the independence of the judiciary. So one more thing is there. One aspect of this independence is the separation of powers. As we have discussed separation of powers, that judiciary has the separate powers to interpret the constitution and to give the verdicts, to solve the disputes. So this is the separation of powers that is making judiciary completely independent from legislature or executive. Supreme courts and high courts and local courts, district courts. This is the structure of judiciary in India. In the next video, we'll discuss about the structure of judiciary in India. Right? So today we have discussed about the judiciary and its functions. In India, Supreme Court was established, as we have discussed, in 1950, and judiciary, the functioning of judiciary and the structure of judiciary is described in Indian Constitution from Article 124 to 147. You have to remember. In the Indian Constitution, Article 124 to 147, this is the explanation of judiciary, and it is given in part 5. Part 5. In Supreme Court, if we see the Supreme Court, the formation of or composition of Supreme Court, at this time there is maximum strength of Supreme Court 34 judges, right? And earlier it was the proportion of judges was 31. Clear? Judges are appointed for 65 years of age. There is no fixed time, fixed tenure for judges. CJI, Chief Justice of India, at this time S.A. Bobde, Justice S.A. Bobde is the Chief Justice of India. He is 47 CJI of India. So all these things you have to remember, and keep revising the chapter. Watch this video again if you don't understand. Thank you. Have a nice day.